Good morning. Good morning. It's time to start our day. Good morning. Good morning to you and you and you and you and you. Good morning. Good morning. We are in gentle yoga. And we're going to focus on some balance today. And we're going to focus on just giving ourselves some love and compassion. So, whether some of us have taken a fall and hurt ourselves, some of us are sort of too sick to even make it to class. Some of us have COVID. Some of us have uncertainty in our living situation. There is all kinds of stuff going on today. So, love and compassion and balance, balance, balance. All right, here we go. Make your way to the mat. So the first thing I'd like us to focus on today is pondering what is balance, right? When you think of balance, what do you think of? Do you think of standing on one leg? Do you think of a checkbook? Do you think of a feeling? So let's take our first minute, please, and just lean into what is balance. Okay, on the second minute, please, let's notice the breath body, that inner body, taking your time to bring in the inhale, taking your time to let go of the exhale. So starting to create a rhythm, maybe inhaling 4 or 5, and then exhaling for the same. Here we go. Beautiful. Keep that going. On this last minute here, what does balanced feel like? So when you are balancing, whether it's the tree pose image, whether it's the checkbook balance, whether it's the breath body balance, when you feel balanced, what does that feel like? Let's take a minute here to settle in. What does it feel like to feel balanced? Start to boil it into a 1 or 2 or 3 word phrase. And when you're ready, we'll bring our hands to the heart or hands to prayer, either one, and just connect to yourself. I'm really glad I showed up today. I'm really glad I'm making this time for myself. I know that life is sometimes out of balance. Sometimes I feel balanced, sometimes I don't. But regardless of all that, I'm here right now. And home is where I am right now. Right? Beautiful. All right. What we're going to focus on right now is a blanket. Let's focus on that. We're going to take a blanket and we're going to have 2 blocks and put the blocks on the either side of you here. And we're going to play with breath, because one of the best ways to actually find balance or feel balanced is to have our breathing body feeling balanced. So taking yourself on your hands and knees, I'm going to face you because that's one of these poses that I want you to be able to see me from this way. So you're going to come into hands and knees, spreading equal space between each and every finger, including the thumb, pressing firmly into the thumb side of the hand, and start to just move the cat-cow. Just feeling the movement of your spine. When you inhale, you're going to look up. And when you exhale, you're going to look down. Starting to create a rhythm now where your breathing is nice and slow. And I'm going to count off the seconds. I want you to challenge yourself to really slow down the breath. Okay. So go ahead and exhale out. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, fill it up 3, 4, 5. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that rhythm. Inhale. Last one. And either sit back into child's pose, or some of you may want to go to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. And down, down, da down, down, da down, down, da down, 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 down. Go. All right. So sitting back on your toes, we're going to go back into broken toe pose. Not back because we haven't done this yet, but curl your toes under and sit there and just feel yourself breathing. Okay, breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1. Notice if you want to make it shorter. I want you to challenge this breath. 2 more. Beautiful. All right. we are going to step our right leg forward. Now, the reason I want to stay forward here is I want you to double check how I'm lining up myself. As always, I'm not holding this hip up, right? I'm wanting it to be nice and level as best I can make it. Now we have the right leg forward. If you're mirroring me, I want you to have a block here. Some of you may need to have both blocks here. Okay, you decide how far. Some of you may be able to go all the way to the floor without the blocks. You decide. Okay, the counting we're doing today is inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. If you're finding that you're gulping the breath and you're running out of time, like you've already got the breath and I'm still counting, it means you need to slow it down. So you're not chugging the breath, you're sipping the breath. Okay, remember when we breathe, the diaphragm moves down on the inhale and up on the exhale. The more we engage those abdominal muscles, the deeper that breath's going to go. I'd like you to be focusing more on exhales than inhale. So really getting a long exhale is the best way to get that good inhale. All right, here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Do you feel how it's even challenging to balance here? You could keep this hip above the knee to challenge your balance, or some of you might even want to be going into a lunge. You decide what's best for you. Every time we exhale, we're coming out of the pose. Every time we inhale, we're going to go into the pose. We're going to do this 8 times. Okay, so either keeping this hip above the knee, making it less challenging for you, or more of a lunge, getting into a deeper challenge. 8 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale. Four more. Wherever there are lungs, there are ribs. Wherever there are ribs, there are lungs. Two more, I believe. Last one. We're going to hold it here. So some of you may use those blocks. Some of you may be having hands on the floor. Breathe deeply into this lung. With the 5-5 pattern. Last one here. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Decide what you want to do here. You could go back to your broken toe pose. You could go to down dog. You could go to sitting on your ankles, whatever you feel like you need. We're going to take a 1-minute pause, feeling the difference in the breath, in the sides of the breath. Beautiful. All right, come on back up. Should we do the other side? Oh, okay. 8 times. 5, 5 is our counting. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hip over knee, or you're going into a lunge. Inhale. And as I said, maybe even the movement here is tricky on your balance. That's okay. One more, and this time we're going to hold it. Inhale. 8 breaths. Five, 5 on the rhythm. Two more deep breaths. Last one. And up we go, up we go. We're going to receive again, taking yourself into any position, down dog, child's pose, Vajrasana, Virasana, whatever floats your boat, and just receive. Both lungs receiving breath now. One more deep breath. Beautiful. Very, very nice. All right, we're going to take the same exploration down to the mat for a brief little hello. So grab yourself a little pillow, perhaps with that blanket, and go ahead and lie down. Decide what you want. You could put blocks underneath your knees to sort of honor the natural curves of the back. You could do Supta Baddha Konasana, where you're doing more of a hip opener. You decide what you want to do there, but just definitely have something where your back feels supported and you're not feeling like you're doing an overly big stretch there. Now we're focusing on the different areas of breath. We're talking about balance today, but we want to be balancing from the inside out, right? It's not just standing on the one leg. There's a feeling of balance that we're seeking. So that's what we're focusing on. Let's take our hands to the very base of our lower belly here. So basically between the pubic bone and the navel. And I'd like you to take that 5-5 count here too. So we're breathing deeply into the lowest part of the belly. Here we go. Can you feel the breath moving into your hands? Okay. Can you breathe into your back also? So not just the belly, but also the back and the sides. Here we go. I'm going to tell you something here. I'm going to take a little trip here. We'll come back to this task, but I think it's pretty fascinating. And I know some of you are in the inner circle and we're going to be exploring it this month. But even if you're not in the inner circle, I want to give you the idea right now because this is our ponder for today. How you feel about the breath, how you feel about yourself, right? The breath is your life force. So if you're here and you're criticizing it, or it's not good enough, or you're worried about it, or you don't like it, or you're distracting, or all the things that are happening as we do this pranayama, this breathing work, this is how you treat yourself as my ponder for today. So our healthy habit in June for inner circles relationships. And this whole week, we've been talking about filling our own well relationship to ourselves. So I challenge you here as we explore this different levels of different pranayama that you are looking at your relationship with your spirit, with yourself, with your life force. See if you can put a little bit of love on it, a little love on it. Okay. That's what we're going to call this class, a little love on it. Here we go. Now, we're going to take it up a notch from belly button to low rib, belly button to low rib. We're breathing, balancing into the front body, back body, left body, right body. Notice how you think about it. Notice how you feel about it. Is this how you feel about yourself? Can you come in with a little bit of love and compassion? For God's sake. Here we go. 4 times. 5-5 is the breath. From belly button to bottom rib. Last inhale, exhale here. Beautiful. Normal breaths. If you're wanting to explore this healthy habit relationship, I've been doing a 12-day challenge. You can find it on our portal. And each day we're looking at different aspects of healthy relationships. So you can follow along whether you're in or out of the group. But I want you to be practicing this idea of seeing ourselves clearly. Let's go from the bottom rib now to the collarbones. So the bottom rib to the collarbones. Again, front body, back body, left and right sides. Here we go. 5 times because that's what we did last time. Here we go. Breathing deeply. Watching your relationship to the breath. Beautiful. Normal breaths. What does balanced feel like? Our last bit here, we're going to imagine that we're breathing into the area where the nose and the eyes and the ears meet. So we're going to imagine that from our collarbones to the crown of the head, to the top of the head, we're breathing there. That's what we're going to imagine, that we've got lungs in our head. And you're bringing your attention specifically to the area where the eyes and the nose and the ears meet, right in the center of your head. And this is where we're thinking of our balance when we're walking down the street too, is am I here? Am I centered here rather than in my hips or my knees or my chest or whatever? So we're focusing on that. Let's take 5 breaths there. From collarbone to the top of your head. Use your imagination. 5, 5. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Keeping yourself relaxed. Normal breaths now, but still challenging yourself to breathe into all directions. Now we're going to slowly, very lazily roll over, keep the breathing nice and slow. And we're going to take our time, slowly, slowly, slowly making our way to hands and knees. We are going to go up to a standing pose. You can travel however you want to get there. We've got about a minute to do it. So you've got about 8 to 10 breaths here before we meet in mountain pose. So any options that you'd like to do to get yourself ready for that, but continue breathing on that 5-5 pattern. If you do not love downward dog yet, if downward dog pose is not your all-time favorite pose, give it time. It's some of the most loving things we can do for ourselves is to put ourselves in this position. So I do recommend you be using your down dog as a tool, it's like the hammer, you know, you can use it for all kinds of things. Balance, getting a fresh new perspective, opening your hamstrings and lower back, challenging your diaphragm for breath work. One more deep breath wherever you are, and we're going to make our way. Okay, beautiful. And come on up, up, up. Okay, so here you are. You're standing on your own 2 feet, right? Your own 2 feet. We're going to just go for a little walk here. Let's walk. Let's walk. Let's walk with the sass. Let's walk. Let's walk. Let's walk with some sass. Feel those hips moving, those heels pedaling. We're walking, we're walking, we're walking, we're walking. Now, get those hips going. As you're walking, I want you to imagine that you're walking down the street. You're still got that 5-5 pattern. You're still breathing. You're still doing all the stuff we've been doing, but now you're walking with some sass. Okay. As you're walking, I want you to imagine that you're walking around your neighborhood. Where do you feel like you lead? Some of us lead in our chest. Some of us lead in our belly. Some of us lead in our knees. I want you to see, where do you feel like you sort of, your nose, right? Where do you feel like you lead the body? Maybe you can think of this and get it. Maybe you're like, I have no idea. Whatever. Just take a moment to ponder. Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Now, as you're walking, I want you to feel those abdominal muscles starting to plug. So zipping up, like almost like you're like zipping up your jeans. Interlace those abdominal muscles. Feel that corset. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Head is sitting right over the shoulders. Head is right over that lower back. Chin is parallel to the floor. Mm-hmm. Contracting those abdominals. Now bring your attention to the eyes and the ears and the nose where it meets right in the center of your head. I want you to imagine that that's almost floating up. Those of you wanting a challenge, you could put the block on your head. Ready? Keep going. Now walk around your little area here. Do, 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 do. Now, so I'd like you to think about balancing right now as we're doing this, as we're walking around, that now you're balancing between the sky and the floor. So long, we're long, we're long, we're long, along, along, long, we're long, we're long. You're walking. The top of your head is trying to touch the sky. Top of the head's to touch the sky. Top of that head is touch the sky. Think the roof of the mouth is floating up. Your spine is long. Ears are level. Chin parallel. 5 and 4 and 3. Head on back to your mat if you've left it. And 2 and 1. Mountain pose. Hands down by your sides. Long, healthy neck. Now, a couple of levels. Drop and bend that left knee. Keep the toes on the ground. That's level 1. Find something to look at straight ahead that doesn't move. Level 2, take your leg up into Ardha Tadasana and push the head or the hands into the leg and the leg into the hands. Eyes are steady. You're balancing between the ceiling and the floor. 2 and rest. And shake that off and shake that off and shake it, shake it, shake, shake it, shake that off. Ready? Second set. Bend that left knee, or right knee, I mean, or coming up second level. Eyes are steady. Here we go. Five breathing pattern. How's it going? One more deep breath. Beautiful. And dance it and dance it and move in and a groove in and dance it and dance it and move in and a groove in. Okay. Second round. Mountain pose again. Find that length. We're trying to touch the sky and the floor. Bend that left knee again. We're going to open and close. Notice I'm picking up my foot rather than smearing my toe. I don't want you to hurt your knee. So you're picking it up. Open and close. Open and close. Now pause. This right leg, we want to lift those quadriceps up. Feel that kneecap lifting up. Not enough that you're hyperflexing that knee, but you've got nice active here. So as you're opening and closing this hip, I want you to feel this is lifting. Plug in the big toe. There's an arch to this foot, and you're pressing that outer edge down. Now, as always, find something to look at, that drishti. Level 1, lean the heel against the ankle and focus on coming out of this hip, right? Focus on that. Level 2, coming up into full vrikshasana. So not only are you balancing on one leg, but you're actually pushing the foot and the thigh together. You're sealing it up. Crown of head reaches up, tailbone reaches down, and we're holding here for 8 breaths. Bring your attention to where the eyes and the ears and the nose meet. Breathing 5-5 pattern. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay. Take it off, give it a little kick, and dance that night away. Dance that night away. We're dancing, 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 dance that night away. Come on. Let's shake it to the left and shake it to the right. Shake it to the levels because you are out of sight. What you think about that? How did that feel? Remember that the point of having our balancing poses of yoga is a practice of calming your nerves, right? So as we go into these balancing poses, it's about practicing calming that life energy, that 5-5 pattern, slow and steady in that breath. Okay. Switching sides now, right leg now, we're going to open and close, lift that foot open and close. Still 5-5 in the counting of the breath or more. Okay, those of you who want to, you can lean that ankle there and we're going to hoist up this left kneecap, really feeling it nice and fired up. Working deeper still, you're going to come into Vrikshasana. Not only are you balancing on one leg, but your foot and your thigh are pressing together, and we'll take our arms up. Here we go. What does balance feel like? Beautiful. Close it up, give it a little kick, and dance that night away. Dance that night away. We're dancing, 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 dance that night away. Now, something tells me that there are folks out there who are on these dance breaks just enjoying me doing the dancing. Like, oh, here she goes again. No, you're dancing with me now. You're dancing with me now. And dancing, dancing, dancing. Come on. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Let's shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. This is a beautiful eraser for your body. It's a beautiful way to sort of let things go. So jiggle it out, 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 jiggle it out. 30 seconds. We're dancing. We're dancing. We're dancing. Get those arms a going. Dancing. Dancing. Make some funny faces. Mm-hmm. 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 Walking on the mat 20 seconds. Walking on the mat 20 seconds. Walking on the mat. Walking on the mat. 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and finding your mountain Tadasana. Finding the roof of your mouth, finding the area where the eyes and the ears and the nose meet. Beautiful. Okay. One more thing. I want you to pick a balancing pose for you. I'm going to give you a couple of choices. Okay. You could do the tree again, the Vrikshasana pose again, right? 8 breaths on either side. That's one option. Another option is to do these one-legged mountain poses, holding playing with those. Okay. Another option is a little more challenging, Hasta Padangustasana, where you're taking the leg forward. So I want you to find a posture that you're going to work. You're not holding on, right? Even if it's just a little bit of a lift, you're just practicing calming your nerves. You're practicing that 5-5 pattern of breath, and you're practicing this idea that you're not just balancing on one leg, but you're balancing out and in and up and down. Like there's a whole bunch of balancing happening here. So I want you to pick it. We've got about 2 full minutes of playing. I'm going to go to the Hasta Padangustasana, but you're going to do the one-legged mountain or the tree again. Or you could just focus on the breath body and moving that flow. Okay, here we go. 8 breaths. Two more deep breaths. How do you stay calm when life is out of calm? And swirl it up. When you're ready, head on over to the second side. This is yoga for our mind right now. Okay, we're doing the work with the mind. How do I handle balancing poses? Remember, where you put your eyes is key. You want to keep your eyes steady. Two more deep breaths wherever you are. And back to mountain pose. Let's head to the down dog. The down dog. Inhale, balanced body. Exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Fill up those lungs. Exhale, downward dog. Pedal out those ankles. Keep those ankles level as you're moving back and forth. And whenever you're ready, maybe it's right now, maybe it's 5 breaths from now. When you're ready, you're going to make your way to child's pose. Knees coming down, big toes together without overlapping, forehead to the floor. You could keep your arms extended or you could fold them down by your sides. You could take a cheek to the floor if that feels nice on your neck. Whatever you're needing here for 8 to 12 breaths. Breathing into that back body, that side body, that front body equally. Four more breaths, please. Two, and beautiful. Very, very, very nice. So I typically say you can do whatever shavasana you want. And of course, you always can, but I'm going to highly, highly recommend you do it this way today because it will really, it'll really buoy some awareness. So if you have any variation of 2 blocks and a bolster, I'd like you to build yourself a little Stonehenge tower. If you don't have a bolster, you could always just use your blocks with the knees over it. But what I want you to do is I definitely want you to be um, tying up your legs. You could also do it up the wall. Okay. The point here is I want your legs to stay in neutral. Remember, when my heels are turning out in and my feet are turning out, this is an open hip. Remember when we were doing that open, close, open, close? Well, if I'm turning, I'm open, and that's not necessarily balancing. So I'm wanting you to find as neutral as you can. This is neutral when it's kneecap over the second, third toe. So as you're going to rest in your Shavasana, I'd love for you to keep your legs in that neutral position. So you have to decide what props you want to use to get comfy. Some people do not like their legs dangling. So you could figure out a different way to do it. I like dangly legs. And you're going to put yourself in a position that is very, very symmetrical, very, very balanced. So I'm going to give you a minute to get into that. Again, you could do legs up the wall. You could do a little Stonehenge action. You could do straight out, but I'd like you to keep the curves underneath your back. Take your time. Deep, 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 deep breaths. About 8 more breaths. Okay, so now you're moving your way into your stillness, please, finding your way towards stillness. So we've talked about a lot of things today. We've talked about how we view our breath and how we can view our breath as how we view ourselves. So we can build some compassion and awareness and some self-reflection and self-love by the way we hold our breath, whether it's chattery and anxious and deep or however it is, we can hold it with sort of a feeling of preciousness. That's the first thing. We've also talked about today, how having that inhale and that exhale being equal in length is very, very balancing. And so that was the primary focus today, was long 5 inhale, long 5 exhale. And so that would be a beautiful way to practice bringing that feeling of balance in your life, as well as breathing into the front, breathing into the back, left and right sides, breathing up, breathing down. Like we did a lot of that work from the inner world. Then we talked about how when we are moving, where are we focusing from? And I had suggested that feeling that this crown of the head, this area where the eyes and the nose and the ears meet, that area is lifting and balancing and walking from here rather than jutting our chin forward or tilting our head, where it sort of takes us off track, like if we're driving and we're looking at the mailbox, you know? So lots of stuff happening today in our session. And I'd like you to take a moment here in your pause And I'd like you to lean in just like we started. What does it feel like to feel balanced? So for 1 minute, I'm going to be quiet. What does balanced feel like? Okay. And then I want to leave you with a thought for you to ponder as you settle into the most important pose, which is that Shavasana. So if we don't expect ourselves to be balanced and we just know that life is both imbalanced and balanced, symmetrical and asymmetrical, right? If we just know that is the way it is, and we notice that when we're out of balance, we have to calibrate towards being more balanced, right? We just know that that's the work. What if that's the work? What if noticing you're out of balance is being balanced? What if noticing is the work? Not the standing on one leg, not the never falling down, not the having, everything certain, but the awareness that there's a lack of balance is balancing. Deep ponder. All right. As always, thank you so much for jumping on the mat. May this work be of deep benefit to you. A little bit of love on it, a little bit of love on it. And I'll see you soon. Deep bows. Much love. Namaste.